So I want to show you how to create an unadjusted trial balance, which you actually have been doing already. We've been calling it a trial balance, but in reality it's actually an unadjusted trial balance because we haven't made some of our adjusting entries yet, which we'll get to later. So same thing, you start out with the who, the what, the when, and then you list all of your asset accounts, your liability accounts, your owner's equity accounts, your revenue accounts, and then your expense accounts. This would be for the debit balance column. This is the credit balance column. And then you add them up and make sure that your debits equal your credits. Where did I get these numbers? You can look on page 69 and 70 of your book, but let me just take you back to a demo of where I got these numbers from. So you would actually go to your general ledger and you would write down all of your account names. Okay, in this instance we would have put cash and bank, our capital, and our utilities expense, and then put in our ending balance, which would be this number right here, whatever it would happen to be. So you get your ending balances from your general ledger and you create an unadjusted trial balance like this. Don't forget you need your who, your what, your when, the debit or the credit balance, so you should only have a number in this column or this column, but not both. And at the end, you're going to single line on top, okay, and double line on the bottom, meaning we're done. But in this instance, we're not done, because what I want to show you is how to find errors, because I'll give you some tips. So if you don't balance, the first thing you want to do is figure out what the difference is. So I'm going to take the 4260 minus the 42,582, and I'm off by $18. Okay? Now, if it is divisible by 9, you probably did what's called a transposition error, or you did a slide error. So transposition is if the number was 2065 and you wrote 2056, you switched the 6 and the 5. So this is called a transposition error. You might want to write that down. It's when you transpose, you switch two numbers. So if this number, the difference, is divisible by 9, which it is, we may have done a transposition error, or we may have done what's called a slide error. So maybe you wrote 2,000. Actually, I wrote 20,000 in one of my examples, and I should have written 2,000. So this is what's called a slide error. You have too many zeros or not enough zeros. So you slid the decimal point in the wrong spot, whether you went to the left or to the right. But it's called the slide error, so make sure you know those. And we actually did. So what you would do is you would go back and just be careful. Did I put 2,000 or should this have been 20,000? And then just keep looking and see if you made a slide error. And I did in this case. This should be 4275. Okay. Now the other thing you might want to check is, what I would do is, if you don't balance, take this number and divide it by 9 to see if you have a transposition or a slide error, or divide it by 2. If I divide it by 2, I can quickly look for a 1600, and it probably then would be in the wrong column, which this one is. And now I balance.